We are all living in 2024, and just look around. Times have really changed. That's especially true for kids at schools. So we have a couple stories about the realities kids are dealing with. First up, yesterday, the Tennessee Senate passed a bill that would allow teachers to carry concealed handguns at school. Teachers would have to go through a lot of training, background checks, and psychological exams in order to carry, but parents wouldn't necessarily know or be notified if their kid's teacher was armed. So is this a good idea to combat the gun violence in schools today? What would you say, Jeff?
I'm for it, and I'm going to state my case why. Because it's a deterrent. You don't know who has the guns. You don't know what teachers are carrying those. So whether a teacher wants to or not, that's on them. But knowing in your mind that someone, maybe Mr. Jackson's class has a gun, maybe Mr. Schroeder's class has a gun. I don't know where it's at. Just one more hurdle that you have to climb before you go shoot up a school. The government isn't going to do anything. So we have to come up with creative ideas. We have these bulletproof walls, these doors that don't lock. If somebody there has a gun, if I had a gun and I was a school teacher and I was responsible, I went to the range and I did all that, knowing what I saw in Uvalde, and I'm totally pro-police and all that, they didn't do what they needed to do in that situation. And if there was someone that's responsible and willing and able to protect those children, I would be that guy. I would jump in there with that gun.
I have one question really quick. You just said the trained people in Uvalde didn't do enough.
Right.
What makes you think an untrained teacher would be able to do more when they aren't trained as well as the people at Uvalde?
Here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If your back's against the wall and you hear live rounds and nobody's coming for you, would you rather know that there is a gun somewhere to defend yourself and those children, or would you rather just sit there and wait while the kid has his aim at anybody he wants? I understand the dangers of having a gun. I don't even own a gun at my own house because I'm scared of it, but just as a deterrent, I'm for it.
Oh, I just hate the conversation altogether. Oh my gosh. Okay, so schools are also dealing with what they are calling an epidemic of deep fake nudes. Schools in California, New Jersey, and other states are now dealing with this. So here's what's happening, okay? Middle and high school students are creating explicit images of their female classmates using AI without their permission. These nude images are then, of course, shared by students on messaging apps like Snapchat, Instagram, and then are viewed in cafeterias, school buses, locker rooms. Seen by their peers, these fake images are leaving real scars on the girls whose privacy has been violated. Erica, my blood is boiling right now if this happened to myself, my friend, or my daughter one day.
Yeah. I think for a lot of us, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around it because this isn't anything that we've ever had to deal with. But if you think about what we did have to deal with, like the rumor mill, if there was some sort of
slut shaming.
Right. If someone came up with a story about you, whether it was true or not, that followed you for the duration of your high school or junior high, elementary school experience. So to have an actual visible depiction, even though it's not real, is it's psychologically harmful because what are people doing with those images? How are they being discussed? What are they being used for?
That's right. And they look just like you. I mean, these aren't just pictures that kids would, you draw nudes. These will look like you. That's how traumatic it is. Someone just wrote, we have to start updating our school policy. This is a 15-year-old victim. Said, if the school had AI policies, then students like me would have been protected. I just think we need regulation for that.
We haven't been proactive about anything regarding the internet, so why should we start now?
We haven't been proactive about guns. Why are we going to be proactive about AI?
Exactly, and I think the one thing we're missing with the issue of these AI images is that it's not just a hard copy that you can try and track down. This is in perpetuity.
Right.
So are you going to be 30 and be confronted with this?
And is this child pornography now?
Are your grandkids going to see? Yeah, and so the thing is, I was thinking about that. If we do regard this as child pornography, your first reaction is yes, that will curb it. But also, then, do we want to have the fallout of some goofy 14-year-old kid that doesn't know anything, that has this on his phone, and have him then go through his life, his or her life? I go back and forth because these laws, for as much as I'm like, yes, laws are a deterrent, when they do land on somebody, especially at a young age, it's the kind of thing that can knock you off your axis and you couldn't come back if you have to register as a sex offender. So
we always preach about protecting the children, and I feel like that's the one thing we're not doing.